Hi, welcome to the Feel Good Factor. I'm Susmita Veganosaurus and I'm so glad you're here today. It's a nice summer day. It's extra hot, but I'm happy anyway because yesterday I went and got my hair cut. Chop, 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 chop. I feel so good. It's been a long time. I'd been allowing my hair to grow a little too long, but yeah, it's just not suitable for this weather. Now I feel so much freer. I got one side a little long, one side all shaved with designs and stuff like that, and feels good. All right. So normally I don't, I don't give content warnings before my episodes and all that. And sometimes, yeah, very rarely I use swear words also, and it's fine. All of you who listen to the podcast, you seem to be okay with that once in a while. But recently, one of our very, very regular listeners, she told me that they listen to the show as a family. That means she and her husband, including her kid also. So, since a kid is listening to this, I'm like, okay, let me give a bit of a content warning. So, Siddesh, if you're listening to this, don't listen to this episode. First, let Papa Mama listen, then let them decide if it's okay for you to hear it, okay? All right. I wrote a piece recently in our writing salons, New Rules Studio, which I've told you about so many times. Yeah, I attend classes thrice a week. It's not so much classes as it is like a gym practice, for your writing muscle. So you just go and you write, and there are all these, specific guidelines that you follow. And the guidelines are not for what you write or how you write, but how you approach your writing practice. It's a very nice feeling. It's called gateless writing method, and it's I really like it. I've been a part of the Neural Studio for since they started, so more than 2 years now, and it's been a wonderful experience attending these sessions. So during the class, I wrote this one piece, and sometimes I read out my Neural Studios pieces out to you also. And this one particularly had an excellent response. Now, people in our class, all the writing friends, this community, everybody is so supportive and encouraging and loving and all that. Like the teachers, the students, everybody, all the participants. But this time, the response was next level. People highly resonated with it, and multiple people messaged me to say, oh god, the world needs to hear this, publish it somewhere, put it somewhere. So I have put a version of this on my Substack. If you are on Substack, go to search for Living Playfully. That's my Substack ID. So you can, I mean, if you like reading, you can go there and read it. So I put a version of this there, but I also felt like, okay, this particular message, it needs to be in multiple locations at once. It can't be just in one platform and be stuck there alone. And, I also thought of how this connects to business afterwards. So I'm like, okay, when it comes to my podcast, that's what I'm talking to you about, how you can feel joyful, how you can be mindful and focus on your own fulfillment and well being when you are a solopreneur or a small business owner and a conscious business entrepreneur, a creative, multi passionate entrepreneur. And I usually speak to all of you, and I could relate this back to business, later when I thought about it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to read it out to you, and I'll read it now. And then I will make the connection to the business angle a little later. Again, be warned, a couple of swear words being used here. I have cleaned it out a little more for the podcast compared to the Substack, though. All right. So, here goes. Every single part of you is important, loved, precious. If some of them go, you'll literally die. But if others do, you'll continue to exist with a phantom ache. Regardless, They're all important, loved, and precious. Your asshole, your pinky toes, your left clavicle, your right earlobe, all important, loved, and precious. Each plays a different part, and you treat each one differently. Cover your bum with red cotton underwear. Leave your arms exposed. Line your eyes with black kajal. Pierce your ears and dangle sparkly earrings from them. Your hair and nails need trimming, your fingertips don't. Now, just because you treat them differently doesn't mean you love one part of you more than another. I'm not referring to, oh, I hate my hair today, or my tummy feels bloated, yuck. I mean, love in the deeper, all encompassing sense, in the I need you all to exist sense. In your love for your every organ, every limb, every cell, you are equal. That's what ancient texts mean when they talk about love for all beings. What the word namaste means when it says the divine in me sees the divine in you. Now for the hard part. Let's bring this into the reality of the world we live in. When there's so much ego and human arrogance, fear mongering and violence, how can I see the divine in all? How can I unconditionally love all beings? Yeah, that guy. Yes, that one too. All beings. How? Remember what I said about your asshole? It serves a purpose, a very important purpose. You don't need to understand its workings fully. You just need to accept that it is important and therefore precious. But that doesn't mean you need to profess your love for it, hang baubles from it, smear it with lipstick, and constantly shower it with your attention. Ignore it all day until the time it has to do its job. Trust that in the grand scheme of your digestive system, it is doing its job. Relax, surrender, unclench. In relaxation, whatever needs to pass will pass so much more quickly. Namaste. So, that's the piece. There is a global frame to the whole thing. And of course, I'm sure anyone in any part of the world can relate to this, relate to um, the reference to the political things and all of that. I don't spell it out though, right? However, I feel like this is extremely important in our day to day lives, in our world, in our business. Because, let's be frank, assholes exist in all areas of life. There are people who will uh, complain to you about your product or your service or your food or something. They'll just keep complaining, and that's it. There's nothing you can do to make them happy. Nothing. Absolutely. Sometimes you wonder, like, why are they even coming back and repeatedly ordering? Because there are those also. We used to have people like that at our restaurant who would come, who'd place the order, but every single time they'd be like, this is not good, that blah, 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 blah. But then they'd come back again and place an order, and so on. So these were like, big jokes to us, to the team. We'd be like, come on, this person's always complaining, finding fault in everything. Now, it's a different matter if, yes, you have people who appreciate you and support you, and you have your regular customers and clients and guests who sometimes, yes, they will give you a feedback about something they're not happy about, which then is great because you want to listen to these people, right? But the people who find fault with everything all the time, that means that's not a reflection on you or your work or what you serve them or what you provide. It is a reflection on the kind of people they are. There was this lady who'd once left a review for us on Zomato, and she made a list. She like, this was not good, the food was not good, it was too noisy, too crowded, the music was bad, the sofa was uncomfortable. Sofa, of all the things, because the sofa is a thing that a lot of people appreciated, because we had very comfortable, cozy, home style feeling, furniture and seats and stuff like that. So everything, basically she picked issues with every single thing. And so these are the kinds of things where you don't even um, dignify them with a response. A lot of these people, you don't dignify with a response. There was this other person who had ordered um, a dish that we aptly named as roasted vegetable wrap. It's right there in the name. And the description said what it had. It had all these veggies, and it was wrapped. It had a creamy sauce, and it was wrapped in a whole wheat, homemade, I mean, in-house made, fresh wrap. All of that was there. This person left a poor rating saying, "Oh, it has too many vegetables." Like what? Oh my god. So there are many people in your business that you will meet who, because of who they are, not actually because of who you are, will have issues all the time, will be mean or will be whiny and complaining and stuff like that. There are people who'll make it difficult for you, who make it a point to make your life difficult for you. We even had this one person who would, I mean, this kid was crazy. I don't know, the narcissism, because they probably wanted their attention for themselves. So they would literally go around telling people, like going to people's houses and telling them bad things about our restaurant. Our restaurant, there was one more vegan restaurant. And this is a person from the vegan, community who went around doing this. And they would go and just vindictively do things to basically hurt our business just because they didn't agree with certain things that we did. So it's not just in your customers, even overall in your community. It could be, people you do business with, people outside of your community that you need to interact with. There are really bad people, not even bad, right? Like, these are people who are just being shitty for the sake of being shitty, because that's who they are. You will come across those constantly. And they are necessary. That's what it is. Like, they are, in the grand scheme of things, necessary in your ecosystem in one way or another. It it serves your purpose, it really does. How they are useful or how they are necessary is something that you will realize as you keep running your business and doing the thing and being who you totally are, being yourself. You will realize their purpose in many cases. In some cases, you may not even. But to surrender and accept that they do exist, and to not pour all our attention on them, trying to either apologize and make them happy, or trying to justify your choices and yourself to them. These things don't work, these things don't pay off. And over time you will be discerning, you will understand who is being helpful with their feedback or saying what they want, and who is just making it about themselves and being mean for the sake of it. You will understand that, and you will be able to filter out and be polite and nice and have a very good connection and relationship with the people who it's worth doing things for them. Like, if a good customer who's always supportive has a complaint, then you want to do something good for them, you want to make sure that they are happy, right? Like, that's a good practice to have. So focus all your attention on those people, on the good people, on the supportive people, on all the people in your customer base, your team, your community, your colleagues, fellow business owners, all the nice ones. Just put your complete focus on those, and wherever possible, ignore the rest of them. They'll fall away. Whatever is ignored will over time just fall away. So focus on the good ones and attract that more into your energy field, into your business field, and don't even give too much thought to the ones, particularly we are talking not even about actually giving them attention in terms of communicating with them, but also giving your attention in terms of your inner self, your brain, your mind, giving attention to the negative ones, to the, well, assholes. Don't do that. You will learn over time how to detach yourself, for sure, but this is me giving you permission. uh, so yeah, that's the lesson for the day. They all serve a purpose. You just surrender and relax and let go, and what needs to fall into place will fall into place. All right, so if you would like to read the Substack article as well as my other Substack posts, go find Living Playfully on Substack, or Susmita Veganosaurus. Go search for that on Substack and read the kind of stuff I share there is very different from the kind of stuff I share here most of the time. But sometimes, like this particular episode, there are overlaps because in what I share there, what I write in my classes, and what I share there, I'm able to connect and make sense of how it applies to us, to small business owners, to entrepreneurs and coaches and creative people and multi passionates, how it applies to us, and that's when I bring it in here. All right, talk to you again next week. Take care. Thank you for listening to the Feel Good Factor with me, Susmita Veganosaurus. Bye.